This is Coyote News.
Speaking of neighbors, the time to sign or renew off-campus housing contracts is approaching. Coyote News' Sydney Colin is live in the muck with two realtors who have a few tips. Sydney?
Thanks, Michael. I'm here with Jessi, Hanson, and Michelle Maloney from Maloney Real Estate. So what should students look for when looking at a housing contract?
I think with a housing contract, you just really need to make sure that you understand exactly what you're signing, because it's a legally binding document. There is a lawyer here on campus that works for the students, so if they have any questions, they can feel free to contact them if they don't understand anything.
And then why should students know their budget when either renting a place or buying a home?
Well, I mean, when you're buying a home, it's going to depend on whether or not you're credit worthy, and so they're going to run your credit rating and run your credit score and see if you've got enough money and equity in anything to save up so that you can buy a home. But as far as for rent, you need to figure out what you're going to be taking out for either a student loan or what you've saved or what your family's allotted for you for a budget. And are you going to have roommates? Typically rents we find are priced per bedroom if you're going to rent a house. So if it's $500 for a bedroom, then you need to figure out how many roommates do you need to have to make it work. So it just varies by person.
And when is the best time for students to look for housing for next year?
Well, after the holiday break, we do call all of our tenants and ask them if they're going to be renewing their lease for the following year. At that point, people that aren't going to be renewing, we do add it to our list. And so I'd say January, February is when you can start, but the sooner the better, because as everyone knows, we do have a housing shortage.
We find that most places are rented by spring break.
And why is housing in Vermilion so limited?
Well, the population has grown, and so there's that. The enrollment has gone up, and I think a lot of places went offline. We lost a couple of mobile home parks, thankfully. When they built Coyote Village, I think the plan was always to build another one, and then they decided not to do it. And so now they're sort of just waiting for the private sector to make up the difference. So I think there's a few apartment complexes in the works.
Jessi, Michelle, thank you so much for being here today.
Take care.
Live in the muck for Coyote News, I'm Sydney Colin.
Thanks, Sydney. In addition to Maloney Real Estate, other Vermilion Realty groups include Grace Property Management, Dakota Realty, and more.